Hey everyone, and welcome to today's Explainer. We're jumping right into something that literally impacts almost every single adult living in the Great Lakes state, yet somehow it often feels totally shrouded in bureaucratic mystery. Today we're going to unlock exactly how to access, understand, and manage your Michigan driving record. Let's dive right in, because taking control of your driving data is honestly one of the smartest, most proactive things you can do to protect both your wallet and your driving privileges.
So let me ask you a quick question. Do you know exactly what's sitting on your Michigan driving record right now? If you just felt a tiny spike of panic, you are definitely not alone. There's a very real anxiety that comes with unknown license suspensions or the shock of suddenly skyrocketing insurance premiums. This record is the master document tracking your entire life behind the wheel, and trust me, ignorance here is definitely not bliss. So, here is our game plan for today. First, we'll look at why your record actually matters. Then we'll cover eligibility and getting started. After that, we'll walk through the step-by-step online process, decode your driving data, tackle some troubleshooting and pro tips, and wrap it all up with a quick conclusion and disclaimer.
All right, Section 1, why your record matters. The real-world financial impact of this data is, well, it's massive. Get this, just one single speeding ticket on your record triggers an average insurance premium increase of 56% right here in Michigan. 56%. Insurance companies routinely look back 3 to 5 years into your driving history to calculate what you're going to pay. And beyond your wallet, this record is heavily scrutinized for job applications, especially if you're going for a commercial driver's license. Legally speaking, this document is the ultimate tracker for every demerit point, restriction, and suspension tied to your name.
Moving right along to Section 2, eligibility and getting started.
So who can actually look at this stuff? Well, privacy laws dictate that Michigan residents generally have to request and purchase their own driving records. You can't just go snooping on your neighbor's driving history. But there are some strict legal exceptions allowed under the Federal Driver's Privacy Protection Act, or the DPPA. Employers can pull records to verify CDL holders, and of course government agencies, courts, and the police have full access to this data for legal proceedings and administrative oversight. Now, if you've ever wondered what the police or courts actually see on their end, take a look at this. It's a raw Secretary of State Michigan driver record inquiry screen. When a court clerk or a police officer punches your driver license number into the system, this portal fetches your entire history. It looks super technical, I know, but it really just goes to show how deeply integrated your driving data is across Michigan's entire legal and administrative network.
Which brings us to Section 3, the step-by-step online process.
Okay, time for some action. Here is your exact digital game plan. Step 1, log into the state's secure MyLogin portal. Step 2, navigate over to the Department of State's online services page and go through their multi-factor authentication. Step 3, simply select Request Driving Record from your profile menu. And finally, Step 4, pay the fee. Oh, and here's the quick pro tip for you right off the bat. Paying with a credit or debit card slaps on a secondary processing fee. But if you use an e-check with your bank routing number, you bypass that extra charge entirely.
Let's break down exactly what this is going to cost you. Going through the digital portal or visiting a Secretary of State branch in person will both cost you $16 and give you an immediate certified record. If you are doing this for an employer or a court, you almost always need that $16 certified version. But, hey, if you're just checking up on yourself for personal reasons and you aren't in a rush, you actually have the option to mail in Form BDVR-154. That gets you a standard, non-certified physical copy for just $15.
Now, this next part is absolutely crucial, so listen up. If you use the fast online method, your digital download link is only valid for exactly 7 days. I can't stress this enough. Do not pay your $16 and then forget about it. During that 1-week window, you have to log back into your transaction history and save that PDF document directly to your computer or your phone. If those 7 days pass, the state's link expires and yep, you're going to have to pay all over again.
Let's jump into Section 4, decoding your driving data.
Michigan weighs traffic violations using a demerit point system. Let's translate this bureaucratic jargon into plain English, shall we? The most severe infractions are going to cost you 6 points. This includes things like reckless driving, operating under the influence, or fleeing the police. Mid-tier offenses hit you with 4 points, which covers drag racing or going 16 miles per hour or more over the speed limit. And finally, a minor speeding ticket of 10 miles per hour or less over the limit, or something like having an open alcohol container, will stick 2 points onto your record.
So why does all this math matter? Because of one magic number, 12. If you rack up 12 points on your record within a 2-year period, it automatically triggers a mandatory driver assessment re-examination by the Secretary of State. And trust me, this isn't just a slap on the wrist. At this re-examination, they have the full authority to restrict, suspend, or just completely revoke your driving privileges.
There's a vital difference here that trips a lot of people up. Active points versus your permanent history. Yes, the actual points will fall off your active tally exactly 2 years from the date of the violation. However, the conviction itself, basically the historical footprint of what happened, will sit right there on your driving record for 7 to 10 years. And for severe criminal vehicular offenses like causing a fatality or drunk driving, that conviction stays on your record permanently, literally for life.
All right, let's head into Section 5, Troubleshooting and Pro Tips.
So, what happens if you find a mistake on your record? First off, you need to know that the Secretary of State cannot fix ticket or accident errors directly. They're really just compiling the data sent to them. If you spot a ticket discrepancy, you have to contact the specific local court that processed it and request a corrected abstract. If there's a mistake regarding an accident you were in, you'll need to contact the specific police department that filed the crash report to get it amended. Long story short, you always have to go back to the original source.
Which brings us to some absolute pro tips to keep you safely on the road. First, always keep your insurance active. Letting your car insurance lapse can trigger an immediate administrative suspension of your license. The same rule applies to ignoring vehicle registrations. Furthermore, never, ever ignore a failure to appear in court or FAC notice. Accumulating those will get your license revoked incredibly fast. Lastly, a great habit to get into is treating this just like your credit report. Pull it annually to verify your standing before you even think about shopping around for new car insurance.
And finally, Section 6, Conclusion and Disclaimer.
We've covered how to get your record, what it costs, and how to decode the points. But above all else, remember to only use the official Michigan Department of State portal to manage your driving data. It is hands down the absolute safest, most secure way to protect your personal identity while taking full control of your standing as a driver.
I want to leave you with a quick disclaimer and a final thought. While this explainer aims to be incredibly thorough, keep in mind that state procedures and digital portals can and do evolve over time. You should always verify current details directly with the Michigan Secretary of State and definitely consult qualified legal advice if you're facing serious hurdles. So, I'll leave you with this. Knowing that a single unseen error could spike your insurance rates or suspend your license tomorrow, isn't it time you found out exactly what the state of Michigan really knows about you? Take control of your record today. Thanks for hanging out with me on this explainer, and I'll catch you next time.